Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Oh yeah, I got the soundboard in fully effect mode. You already know what it is, man. Like we out cheer, Digi Good Times, digital, aka Digital Good Times, season 4, episode 3, and we have a lot packed into this episode. So if the universe wills it, then potentially we will have our guest come live on air and chop it up with what we got to discuss today. If not, we gonna drop it in, so you're gonna get this content either way. You feel me? But I go by the name of Small Eyes with a Z, and I got my boy Cope on the boards, Maestro, and we'll also have the good brother Kwame, man. Hopefully, join us to discuss the topic. I said the topic, whatever, man. Yeah, whatever. You get it. You guys get it. He actually refers to himself as the Afrocosmic, aka DarkMythst. So we're gonna be talking about the power of the Afrocosmic and the NFT revolution. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a revolution happening right now. You know what I'm saying?
Once, twice, 3 times, damn it, though.
Yeah.
Once, twice,
that's, you know what I'm saying?
Once,
I just gotta let y'all know. Sorry, I gotta let you know. Let me take it off repeat. How real it is. You know what I'm saying? So, without further ado, we're gonna just jump right in. We're getting right into the nitty gritty. But I got some special announcements. So this is good. I want to start with some announcements. So, so there's been a lot going on, man. If I had to tell y'all what's going on in my life, man, that's why we have, it's been a bit of a gap. You know what I mean? No Yeezy. And from our last episode, shout out to the good brother Complexion, who's been bodying it and doing incredible work on the BBC radio show that he launched. It's incredible. I highly recommend y'all go check it out and go check out that episode if you haven't. But we're going to start off with our subscriber donation sponsor shout out. So first of all, you already see me talk about at the top of the show. Shout out to APBG Branding Group, which is our location that we coming to you from. Also, one of incredible collaborator, business partner, and just the overall great human being. And then I'm going to shout out, we actually got an actual donation, y'all. We got a love donation, a sponsorship donation, whatever, from my good brother. He's a Morehouse homie, OG, the good brother Chet Pratt, man. You know what I mean? He sent some love. So if you guys love what we're doing, if you're like, this is amazing, we like Digi Good Times, all you got to do is go to digigoodtimes.com and you can find all the different ways you can support us, whether through PayPal, love donations, Square, you can send us Cash App. And we will have our next announcement. I don't have a drum roll. Actually, I do have a drum roll. Let's see.
Behind a picture frame, you can find bullets. Behind a picture frame.
That's not a drum roll. But I gotta say that it's been a long journey, y'all. So we're finally getting into a subscription space. I'm super excited for that. I gotta clap it up again because you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, we are maybe, 6-7 years into this game or not, or more. And we're just now getting to the space where the sponsorship pipelines have been built out. Apple just announced about a month or so ago, or more, 2 months ago, the launching of their new and revamped Apple Podcast app. Along with it, the subscription program. So now you can sign up. Anybody can sign up if you have a podcast. It's $19.99. You subscribe, and then you get brought into the pipeline to be able to upload and to enable subscriptions on your feed. So that's coming this fall, yo. And I did a poll on our Facebook group. Shout out to the Digi Tribe, Digi Gang all day. We're going to talk more about them in a little bit. And I did a poll in our group, which is up, and the group is up and stuck, by the way, super up and stuck. We'll talk about that. And everybody said that they thought it was cool that if we do $2.99 or whatever for the subs. So we working on that, y'all. We working on that. We're gonna bring you exclusive content to come through that pipeline by the fall at the latest. And guess what? Ads are coming too, man, because we gotta eat. And also that's just the way this ecosystem is gonna be set up. And we're gonna have unique and we're gonna have important and relevant ads. But there's gonna be an ad version of the show and there's gonna be a sub version of the show. So get ready. We working. We bringing you incredible content. So get with us. So on that note, we gonna get into the warm up topic. You know, you know what I mean. So the warm up is TikTok is pretty anti-black. Did you guys know that? Maybe you did. Maybe you didn't. They're pretty anti-black. Let me tell you why. So this young brother, his name is Ziggy Tyler. He's pretty popping on the in TikTok space. I think he's at 600,000-700,000 followers. But sometimes you know it's not always about the follower count. He stated, and I quote, I'll read. He recently tried putting Black Lives Matter and Black support into his profile because he was selected from the Creator Marketplace, which is this new initiative that TikTok tried to create because of the incredible backlash of how they've been basically shitting on Black and brown content creators, which we already know how this goes. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying nothing that you ain't already heard before. They've been basically shitting over and allowing Black content creators to not be able to create revenue and generate revenue and eat off of the platform while their white counterparts, the white people, that's spelled YPPL for all those that don't know, while the white people on that are getting it in, making $1 million endorsements, stealing the dances, which we know this has been happening for quite some time. And so people are talking about, how do we copyright? How can the Black content creators be able to get ownership for these things that they're creating? And TikTok knows that they're behind the ball, and so they created this creator marketplace that's supposed to be a place where you can get approved and people can buy into you as a content creator. And he's just trying to put stuff like Black Lives Matter and Black support, and he's saying it's flagging it and not allowing him to do that. And so in this article, it's a Forbes article, so let me also reiterate that the episode guides, which I don't know, man, I gotta really let y'all know that we shoot from the hip. You know what I'm saying? We got it on us. And what I mean by that is we really coming with all of these resources to make sure that you all are able to get the most out of this thriving tech economy, and especially us as Black and brown creators, content creators, and people moving into space. You know, we got to be on it. You know what they say: if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And so I say that to say we really have to put the work in and the effort to make sure we're creating and building spaces that we can get equity in. And so to summarize this TikTok thing is the black TikTokers have gone on a virtual strike, and they're basically not really fucking with what's going down. They said that, you know what, we're not gonna dance to the thought shit, which is the Megan Thee Stallion record. And I think they held down true to that for a couple of weeks. I still think to this day there's not like a really big dance. So you can see when Black content creators don't make the dance, it's not popping. That's why there isn't a thought shit dance. You know what I mean? Let me get this wire. You know what I mean? We got this video, so hopefully y'all seen this video. We really kind of put some work into this backdrop, and hopefully y'all are seeing how we getting it in. So TikTok is anti-Black, man. I think we need to really pay attention to the track record of these platforms and how they're really giving it to us. You know,
Honesty check.
we gotta have an honesty check with ourselves and really be like, yo, is this space really for us? Now the same thing could be said for, this is a good transition to another plug I want to plug. Our Digi Tribe, we are really squadding the figgity fuck up. I gotta be really energetic about this because we've been putting a lot of work into it. I've been putting a lot of work, my blood, sweat, and tears into growing this group. So let me just state this. This is a for real honesty check. This is a for real honesty check. This is really where the Digi space is expanded. You can call it the expanded universe. Like the podcast is, I think, super dope, super amazing. We got incredible people again. The good brother Kwame, hopefully we'll be able to get him in here and chop it up and talk about the innovative things he's doing in the NFT space as a virtual effects artist and as an African. He's actually a Ghanian. So that's some real crazy content we got coming for you. But the Facebook group is going crazy. We're on a race to 2K, to 2,000, and we're far on our way. We're almost at like about the 1430 mark. So if you want to know like what's really going on in the epicenter of culture, Black culture, tech, media, you name it, I'm serving it up. I'm really serving it up every day on a platter. And it's a private group, so you have to join it through Facebook. But it is a full extension of this platform. And so if you're not on it, you kind of missing out. And I mean that sincerely. You missing the fuck out. You know what I mean? That's a bomb drop. You know what I mean? So Get up on it, man. That's all I gotta say. You know, I got one more thing to say.
Waking up in the morning, thinking about so many things.
Why you gotta think about it, man? Join the Facebook group. I'm not us the evil empire. Yo, your data is already got by everybody. You know what I mean? That's just the reality. We won't go into it. We've had many segments talking about protect your digitalia. Bruh, just get on the wave. We got some really awesome stuff going in there. We have a community thriving. I'm going to do some shout outs at the end, shouting out our top 10 contributors on there and just showing them some love. But it's where you want to be. I'm just saying. So TikTok's anti-black. I already told you why. Other point out that's where I was going. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, but I got a method to my madness. The episode guides, which is where we have kind of like a transcription, really, for those who may not be able to actually visually see. We want to make sure we're inclusive. We are inclusive. That's the other thing too about our Facebook group and DigiTribe Gang. Super inclusive space. So if you get on there, you know what the rules are. We are inclusive to everybody. Shout out to LGBTQIA gang. All of my people's up in there. Everybody that is supporting and coming together as a community. We are about that life. And so this is a place that you can come and thrive, and it's a safe space. So like, I mean, I can sell it. I could talk about it more, but you're missing out, man. It's like another extended universe. You want to join the expanded universe of Digi Good Times? This is where it's at. Like on guard. You know what I'm saying? They say on God. I say on Ja. On guard. You know what I mean? That's real talk. So
Honest chair.
that's real deal. All right, we're gonna move on, and we again. I would say just to tie a bow on the TikTok anti-black piece is that we have to create our spaces. We have to create equity places. I did want to point out there was an article I came across. I think there's a very important brother in the dancing space who is actually trying to create a pipeline to allow content creators to like copyright their dances and stuff like that. So it's coming. We just don't have it yet. And until we do, we got to still go sing for the supper. You know what I mean? Where these content creators, they're depending on it. So it's almost like this kid Ziggy, if he wasn't as vocal and he's a real activist, he's really out here. I believe he identifies as he. I believe so. Is really out here getting to it. If he didn't have the integrity, he might be like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care about Black Lives Matter. I don't care about black support. I don't need to have that in my profile if that's not how they want to give it up to me. But I think it's nuts that this big platform has so many different snafus on how they're being anti-black. You can come find those resources in the episode guide, which we will allow access to from the Facebook group for a limited time until we get our subs going in the future. All right, so to continue on. The question I was asking, and this is something that I was going to ask to our guest Kwame, but he's, basically he's a beast. We're going to talk about him when we get to that point. He's a beast, so he's been got a lot going on. So hopefully we'll be able to get the brother on. Well, the question I was going to ask him, and I'll ask it to the audience, you can think about yourself, because this is an episode about the NFT movement, right? Is there a way to use blockchain and NFT technology and systems to help empower the black dancers and content creators to mint or to essentially to create the ownership piece that is the NFT movement? And we're going to talk about in this next segment now. We're going to get a little bit more into kind of what NFT is and why it's crucial. And I would want to throw like a video excerpt in, but I want to try to see how much of it I retain. Because you know what, like we always like, oh, play the clip or do this, but it's like, do you really know what you're talking about, man? And this Digi Good Times, we're continuing to evolve as a space for resources. We say we provide jewels and tools for all. We are a black tech empowerment platform and media company and edutainment space. And so, we got to know what the fuck we're talking about. You know what I mean? So I've been doing a lot of research. So I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about. There's a video that is, again, in our resource guide that Kwame, the good brother, that is our guest, or we will hopefully get the guest. We go. Don't worry. Y'all going to get this content. We're going to stitch them in however we need to get it down. But, crap, what was I saying? I'm going to find it. That's why I got this thing. Oh, yeah. That there is a way to allow people. Dang, I truly lost my thought. All right. So, no. I know. Okay, y'all, I got it. I promise you. I got it. Let me sip some tea. Let's sip some tea. So, which I know is dead air, but don't worry. Don't worry. I'm gonna fix it. Okay. So, taking a sip from my tea. And now I know what I was going to talk about. What is NFT? So I watched this video from this group. They're called NFT Tips, and it's in the research. That's what I was trying to get to, the resources. They're called NFTs Tips. That's literally the name of the organization and the website, and the resources are in there. And they're actually doing great work. And like I said, our guest Kwame, who was a part of the Black NFT art group movement that's on Clubhouse. If you don't already know, we've talked about Clubhouse in previous episodes. Jakumi, which is my good brother and friend and homie, we've been knowing each other, but he's been getting in like crazy in the Clubhouse space. So I know that people say Clubhouse is dead, and there's a whole nother conversation about whether it is or not. But if you find your niche in your space, it is quite alive. So that's what's happening right now with the Black art NFT space. That's how I met the good brother Kwame, through that space, and actually the sister Isis, which is great because we're going to actually have a second part to the NFT show. It was already planned because there's so much to talk about when we're talking about NFTs. I'm going to have her on, and she is the co-founder of the Black Art NFT group and movement. So we got a lot more NFT content coming for you. But I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about. In the clip, we'll have the link, but I don't want to just throw the clip into the video or throw the clip into the podcast and let somebody else talk. I got to make sure I know what I'm talking about. So what is NFT? The example that the brother used, or this gentleman used, is that an NFT is like a deed to your car. And so NFTs is non-fungible tokens. So you're like, well, what is it? He said it's got a double negative. It's like it's got two things that you got to explain to people. What is fungible? Well, fungible means that it's indistinguishable. Like you can use it. It's just like money. It's dollars. You got dollars thrown around, $1 year is a serial number, but it's exchangeable across the board everywhere. So how can you break down non-fungible? Non-fungible, that is something you can use. He's like, the example he uses is like a deed. The deed to your car is, or a deed or your title to your car is unique to you. It's a one of one. You can sell it, but you can't try to take your deed and then try to go to somebody else's car and say that that's your car. It don't work like that. It's very specific and uniquely coded to that car. But if you sell your car and your title, you have to give over that deed or that title. So that's what non-fungible it essentially means, and what you're able to do is allowing you the ability to use the token system and tokenomics, which is a whole nother conversation, but it's allowing you to take something that is unique. And NFTs can be anything. NFTs could be physical things like, actually, let me go there. NFTs could be physical things. They could be your car. So you're auctioning off, or you're making an NFT out of your car. They could also be a house. They could be, so actually, I took some really good notes. Car registration, be physical items, house, boat, car, shoes, etc. Or intangible items like intellectual property to your rights to your logo, so your IP for your logo, pictures, digital art. So that's the stuff you're seeing now. Basically, the sky's the limit on what you can do with this stuff, like on guard. You know what I mean? There's three different buckets that you fall into if you're getting into the NFT space. You're either a collector, which is what you see a lot of people doing, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the collecting space. And Kwame, we'll get him to throw some audio and talk a little bit about the creator space, which that's the most dynamic and nuts kind of space to really be in. And then you got the curator space, where you might create galleries, digital galleries, virtual galleries, where you're going to host all these artists. So those are the three different buckets you can fall into. And again, non-fungible token is like something, a programmable, collectible, a programmable thing that you can apply and imbue special features to. So another example is if I created an NFT for let's say my music, or even for the Small Eyes logo, right? I'm an NFT the Small Eyes logo, right? If I NFT that and I sell that to that person, I could then say that what comes with this token and with all the different coding and stuff like that, which, by the way, what makes it impactful is it's backed by Ethereum, and Ethereum, the cryptocurrency, of course, that everybody knows about. We talked a little bit more about that in our Bitcoin episode. The DeFi, all these different things are crucial to understanding why NFT has the backing that it does. So it actually has the blockchain backing it, which is the Ethereum, which makes the transactions and makes the public ledger that these NFTs stored on legit and secure and all that good stuff, right? And like I said, this is not an episode where we're going to go deep into the nitty gritty of NFT, because you can go watch videos and tutorials for it. We wanted to talk to the artists that are getting it in and really evolving and kind of being revolutionaries in this space. But I did just want to make sure y'all understand that. So it's like, it's a title that you can transfer to other people that's unique to you. And it has special properties to it that you can say, like, hey, let's say that deed example, let's say when I give the deed, maybe also I'm going to give them, what comes with it is you get 20 air fresheners. You know what I'm saying? So you can add extra things with the NFT token that you're creating that add extra value to it. You know what I mean? So we just getting a little into it. You know what I'm saying? Let me.
It's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
That's the guy, George.
It's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to curb your enthusiasm, guys, if you thought you were going to get like every single thing that you need to know about in the NFT space. Again, we are going to provide resources. The NFTs tips tool that I went through, it's got a lot. It's talking about the marketplaces, which is where you got to buy your NFT. There's a lot of stuff. Nifty Gateway, OpenSea are the top marketplaces. But you really just want to, I believe, watch some of these videos that are going to give you some of the basic breakdowns of what an NFT is, how it works in conjunction with the blockchain, and how you get the most out of it. So you got to decide how you want to come into the NFT space, which is a limitless ocean right now. And that's what I'm going to talk a little bit more about what's going on with things like the fusion between AR, VR, and NFT. It's like the fucking sky ain't the limit. It's crazy out here, y'all. Y'all don't like. I gotta let you know how wild it is. You know what I'm saying? It's this wild. It's scat world wild. You know what I mean? So you got to decide how you want to come in. Are you coming in as a collector? Do you want to buy? Which you can buy if you have a wallet and if you use Ethereum. If you don't know about that, go check out our Bitcoin episode. We talk about what importance of how you use wallets and working with crypto, et cetera, et cetera. You want to come in as a creator? Are you an artist? Or are you just somebody that believes you have a really good idea for a token, or for an NFT that you want to create? Or do you want to create galleries and experiences? Because our next subject is talking about people who are trying to bridge the gap between VR and AR and NFTs, and they're calling it creating a metaverse. So now it's getting we're starting to get a little spooky. Now we're getting spooky, man. My Gucci man, spooky man. Yeah. Now we're getting spooky, because they're talking about like how do we build digital metaverses. And that's what's happening now in the gaming space and stuff like that. So if you do any kind of gaming, there's all kinds of like multiplayer experiences. But virtual reality, if you haven't tried a virtual reality set, you got to get it. You got to try it. You got to at least once. There's a lot of these virtual reality bars popping around town across cities, even in small cities. You can go check out, or see if you can come across one to check out, because it's immersive. That's the fucking bottom line. This shit's immersive, right? So it's different from just looking at a screen. So they're wanting to create, there's a company called Provenance NFT Oasis, and they said that they're a platform. They were just funded recently, and they just started in March 2021. So that's how quick this shit's moving, y'all. This company just formed in March 2021, and I believe they just got 15-20 million for this metaverse VR NFT fusion concept. So let me read what they're doing, right? They say that their goal is they want to fuel a decentralized creator economy. They want to combine non-fungible tokens, NFTs, with virtual reality and decentralized financing, aka DeFi, which is all it is. Crypto, DeFi, all exist in this bubble, to give them an ecosystem to give artists more creative freedom, business control, and financial success. So what we're talking about is like on some real shit, like sovereignty, where you have freedom for your pipeline of financing, investment, infrastructure, everything on your own without having to go to the fucking banks or having to go to any of these different infrastructures that are currently in place. So it's some real fucking disruption, conjunction, junction, what's your disruptions type shit going down. And that's what these people are trying to do. So, actually, I'm sorry, I said 12. They raised $4 million. They just raised $4 million in a fund. And they see what they're trying to do, what they're doing as building a bridge to the metaverse, which is a universe of virtual worlds that are all interconnected. And it's like Ready Player One. A whole bunch of books talk about it. So they're trying to build that Ready Player One shit in real life, where you can create. Again, it's a big vision, decentralized, giving you the ability to use the NFTs as a wedge to show off. Let's say, again, the good brother Kwame. I'm going to, when we get to his topic, I'm going to talk about his work, and again, we're going to hopefully cut him in to get him to answer some questions about how his work's been going, because his brother's been very, very successful. African brother, very successful in selling his NFT artwork in the last few months. And so it's incredible to see it, and that's what this is all about. Shout out to our Black African diaspora, massive. Shout out to everybody rocking with us, Digital Good Times. But you already know how we give it up. We say we're a Black and brown tech empowerment platform, so you already know what it is. So last point about the company is that they want to use VR as a stage and blockchain as the infrastructure on which they will make this reality of the metaverse. So combining blockchain and VR and NFT is nuts. And I know y'all might be like, this is a lot of stuff he's talking about. You're throwing a lot of concepts out of here. That's what we're doing. We're big picturing it, man. Like the good brother Fabian said, like, yeah, we could talk about Afrofuture. That's why I like that the brother Kwame calls himself Afro-cosmic. It's like, yeah, we cosmic beings, man. We not just the Afro-future. We just the future. We are the future. So it's like, it ain't just specific to Afro, if that makes any sense. So we got to be living in it and breathing in it, thinking about it, examining it. So a question I would ask to you all, and then I want y'all to think about, what do y'all think about this metaverse concept? You know what I mean? You think this is weird? You think they're trying to get us ready for the Matrix? This VR NFT fusion where if you create this NFT art or token, then you can then allow it to be displayed. So you want people to go check out and experience it. I got the chance to actually go to an NFT real exhibit in real life here in Atlanta. Shout out to the good brother Greg Mike and his gallery. I don't know why the name's escaping me right now, but the gallery that him and his crew and people own. He did the first one, I guess, according to him, according to their community in Atlanta. I believe it might be true. Shout out again, Greg Mike. We'd love to get him on the show. And it was incredible. People are basically just using these frames. They said there's a whole entire industry now where you basically got TV size frames and you display it. There's sound, audio, etc. And again, you're gonna see that when we get to the good brother Kwame's art. It's crazy out here. It's crazy. So we're not even at the tipping point yet. We ain't even got the tip in. Sorry, that was on the weird, but y'all know what it is. Do y'all think it's cool? I think it's cool personally. And do y'all think it's a way that can be implemented into what's going on with the African NFT movement? Because there's a growing movement. And Kwame's not just him. It's a lot of other brothers and sisters who are growing and evolving. And again, we're going to have the good sister Isis on for our part 2. And she's going to dive more into like the economics, the infrastructure of what's going on in the NFT movement. I just kind of want to give y'all a primer. And I had to come back, man. Like, we've been gone for a minute. If I'm going to be real, life gets real, you know what I'm saying? And, without exposing too much of myself, I was in transition, man, life transitions and, getting everything back on track. The universe got us though. So, cause we're doing something with our high purpose for real. So, I ain't gonna get all mushy or whatever, but we've been working, man. So I had to get this to y'all. So I believe that there's a lot of room to grow. Again, if you're interested in learning more and deep dive in this subject, check out the episode guide where you will be able to deep dive and see more about what they're doing within this VR NFT space. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. So,
Honesty check.
I just gave y'all that honesty check. We gotta.
Waking up in the morning, thinking about so many things.
So much to think about. You know what I mean? It's a lot. There's a lot to think about over here. All right, so we're gonna get to the main. This is gonna be different. This is me also letting y'all know, like, I want to present and bring y'all this content and information, myself. So, You know, when we have guests, when we have things, life happens, man. You know, it's gonna be me up out here, and you know, we might do call-ins. That's when we get the Discord going with the group. Have call-ins, man. I just call it in the Facebook group and just chop it up with them and kind of talk through some of this stuff together. We're gonna also do that too once the Facebook Clubhouse thing launches. Because again, our community, if you really want to know how we're giving it up, you are missing out if you are not in DigiTribe. I mean that. I'm saying that to you, camera. I'm saying that over there, and I'm saying that over there. Okay, you got to join us. You know what I mean? We really doing some really amazing stuff over there. Conversations, people getting hooked up with jobs, people getting connected with businesses, people supporting one another, emotional places to really share, real heartfelt. Like, we not playing, man. And it's in a digital space. So we want to bring that into real live spaces as things open up. But, you know, in due time, you know what I mean? In all due time. So let's see what else I got on the soundboard. I think, yeah, I knew I had to transition. One more time. Also, want to say this.
Behind a picture frame, you can find bullets. What does that mean to find bullets?
What does that mean to find bullets? If you don't know who that was the mayor, the new mayor of New York, I believe. I don't know if it's like 100% yet, but I believe it is. He is. This guy, Ray something, whatever, he made the most incredible video talking about where people hide drugs and dolls and little girl dolls, butt cracks, and then backpacks, and people got bullets behind picture frames. Nuts. So New York's in for a really fun ride with this guy. But anyway, transition. Now we're going to talk about the good brother Kwame. So what's going to happen is, again, full transparency with y'all, man. We had the good brother on. He's been working, burning the candle both ends, getting it in. And so, you know, he wasn't able to make it, but we're going to cut him in, I guarantee you, where he's going to answer some of the questions, talking about how he got into the NFT space, how he really started to get it in as a VFX artist. But I'm going to try to talk a little bit about his background, and then you're going to get him cut in talking a little bit about himself. So, yeah, all right, that's how it's going to go down, right? So we're talking about harnessing the power of NFT and creating space for African digital artists with the good brother Kwame, aka DarkMythst. I'm gonna read you a little excerpt from his bio and like how really nuts this dude is, and maybe it might explain why, you know, he's got a lot going on. He says he calls himself a multidimensional, innovative artist in all mediums. Here are some of the mediums that he gets down in: 2D, 3D, AR, VR, VFX. He also does music. He also has a company for clothing and hair products or hair combs. So he has an African comb line that actually is incredible looking. This brother's artwork is amazing. So at this point of the show is where I'm going to we're going to trigger it, and where I'm going to show some of his art on screen. But I want to read a little bit more about his bio. He calls himself an Afro-cosmic artist, infatuated with nature, science, cosmic gases, planets, and spirituality. He says his art depicts his experimental, mental is parenthesized, journey. Afrofuturistic mythological tales are things that he puts into his art and his content to direct audiences using Afrofuturism, infusing mythology and imagination. So right about here is where you're going to see on your screen, bing, you're going to see we're going to be showing a lot of his artwork. And his artwork is incredible. There's a few of them that are animated, moving GIFs, and there are a few that are all stills, 3D, CGI rendering. And so you may be like, how's this dude so incredible? Why is he getting it in like that? Like, again, you can see on the screen, we've got some stuff. This is for our video YouTube audience, which is who we're trying to grow, by the way. So if you're listening to the podcast, you're obviously not going to see it, but you should go check out the video when you get a chance, or go to the episode guide so you can actually go look at some of his artwork, because NFTs is experienced visually, right? So this is the one part of the audio part of the podcast. My audio people, shout out to the audio gang. Where you want to go check out some of his videos, so you can see how incredible this work is. Like, how did he get it in like this, man? Like on some G shit. Like, I just want to give him. I want to give him his flowers. You know what I mean? I want to give him his flowers. Here is his IMDb, just so y'all can be like, this is how wild this brother is. He's done in the last 8 years. He's worked on the Avengers as a stereoscopic artist, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, Iron Man 3, The World of Jurassic Park, Pacific Rim, The Wolverine, Percy Jackson, Captain America: Winter Soldier, Godzilla, Guardians of the Galaxy. Is that enough? Do you need more? He's a monster. He's a freaking living monster. So I'm just really honored and glad that there is some incredible African people, African diaspora. There's the good brothers from Ghana. He's going to talk a little bit more about his story. We get an excerpt from him. He's from Ghana, but I believe a transplant living over here on the West Coast for a while. And, you know, again, the Black art NFT community is how I got introduced to him and the work that he does as DarkMythst. So you're gonna get some of those questions. You're gonna get him talking about why he created DarkMythst, where the name come from, what the NFT revolution is like for him, what it was like when he first started minting some of his pieces, and what that process was like, and then talking about like how he wants to grow the African NFT community, and hopefully we get some things from his business partner as well, and then what's next for him in the African NFT art movement. So that's going to be audio. And so what we'll do on the playback, you're going to see, we'll cut in, you'll see cut in him talking about it with some of his pieces and some of his work. Again, for audio gang, you'll just hear him talking about stuff.
So how did I get the name DarkMythst? Very interesting story. Contrary to me being a very, very positive person, this was actually a very dark period in my life where DarkMythst evolved. It was actually the result of how I felt of society and what the world had become to me. It was my early 20s, and I was just really much of an outcast. Wherever I was this African kid that moved to America where there was no black people, and there were just a lot of other things that were occurring in my life that just took me to a place that was not as good. And I was very artistic and poetic as well. And when I started to define myself, and I actually got the tattoo too, but I felt like I was this, a dark mist. But you see the spelling, I felt that, I was invisible to the world. I felt like, dark skin, I'm a myth, I don't exist, but I'm here. And of course, the mist of like rain. So really, it was a combination of those three. And it was basically like I had already coined myself a legend in the future, or I knew I was good. I planned to make myself a legacy, and I wanted to prove what I was gonna do and impact in the world. And so DarkMythst was like that. I was going to be set as part of a mythology, and as a dark cloud of mist that just appears, comes and goes. So that's really the wrap up, or if I can summarize what DarkMythst is, or what the name is. DarkMythst is just a cloud of dark smoke that appears, arrives, does what I do, and disappears. And just as a myth, do I exist or do I not? Now, DarkMythst is also the artist that you all know or getting to know as the Afrocosmic artist. Afrocosmic is, I can't really say that I termed it per se, because when you think of Afro anything, you can put Afro on anything and it just turns into gold. So that's just what it was. I consider myself an Afrocosmic artist because most of my art comes from just hardcore daydreaming, and I'm a spaced out kind of person, but I'm really into the stars and cosmics and the nebulas. So most of my art has something to do with incorporating the cosmics, just like my latest Mawu piece. She's made up of black galaxy dust and precious gold metals. Some of my other art uses a lot of the elements of clouds and plant life and nature, and they just have this essence of the cosmic reality. And because the cosmics do really affect everything that we do, think about the sun and the moon. When the moon comes up, you're going to sleep, or the sun comes up, you're waking up, or vice versa, depending on what your lifestyle is. So Afrocosmic is just incorporating that fantasy, dreamlike art, and it fuses some elements of Afrofuturism, being that the Afrofuturist art is really a concept of positivity, freedom, and technology, and where we are as Afro people are going. But Afrocosmic takes it just the next level in mythology and uh, cloud science, or whatever you would like to call it, but very galactic and um, touching bases on the intergalactic alliance. Oh my goodness, I could get nerdy with it, but that's what Afrocosmic is, fusing the elements of Afrocentricity and the cosmic arts. How did I get into the NFT revolution? I got into the NFT revolution back in February. About a month prior, I had a friend who was trying to talk to me about NFTs and convince me to come into Clubhouse and listen. At that time, I just wasn't interested in getting into any new apps or social platforms. So a month later, he called me again, and first thing he said was, "I will buy you a phone just to get on Clubhouse and listen to this." And I trusted him. He usually would not call me to jump on something unless he really believed that I could do something with it. So he definitely did well convincing me. I got myself just a very cheap iPhone from Target, got it activated, and joined Clubhouse. I listened about NFT information for about a good week, and I was sold from there. What I found from it was the idea that artists could take control, and they were monetizing off of it, not only through that, but also it just seemed like such a way to wake your inner childhood and creativity up. And my particular interest in it was the fact that artists were winning. I come from a background in the industry where artists are underpaid for a lot of the work that they do. And while the big films and industries make billions of dollars. So when I saw what was going on, I got more interested and started diving deeper into this rabbit hole, learning about NFTs, what it was, um, non fungible tokens. So sorry, and what artists were doing with it. And what I gathered were artists were just coming out there with incredible art and minting these, and there would be collectors, and I was calling them underground. I was calling them underground millionaires that just go collecting digital art. And I saw what the future was for it in the terms of films like Ready Player One and so on. You know, digital frames. It's going into this such a digital world that I saw what it could be. And then when I saw how artists were selling and how there were collectors that appreciated the artist's work, I was sold. Because we all, a lot of us are artists and we do all this work and we post, but never are people buying our work at this rate. And you can create the same work, make a large 8 by 10, 8 foot by 10 print, and go out to a market and try and sell it, and you won't be able to sell it for more than $200 or $300 maybe. But artists are selling them for close to equivalent of $5,000 plus, through Ethereum. So I was interested more so to see how it would work and what it was about and the artist empowerment. And that's how I got into it. And my journey so far has just been amazing. There's a lot of ups and downs, frustrations. Sometimes you don't know how good you are or if you're good enough to be in the game, but there's just a lot of things to learn and a lot of hoops to jump through in order to market and get yourself in the game. My work that I've minted, I've created maybe close to about 13 pieces at this point, some collectibles and some one of ones. My one of ones are artwork that I really put in a lot of time into, everything from sketching to hand sculpting, painting, rendering, just to get that sort of art representation, Afrocosmic, Afrofutures representation I mentioned. And they are just, pieces that I would want to hang in my wall, or sometimes I call them museum art. I call them museum art because I do sculpts, and sometimes I imagine if I go ahead and 3D print some, they would do well in museums. So my work is very visionary, it's just things that I feel like when I come to mind. They're just like any artist, you want to just put on paper and whatnot. And so my NFTs, most of them have been created around, of course, the Afrocosmic work, but more specifically has the touch of African inspiration in there, especially being that I'm from Ghana, West Africa. So I grew up with African culture, art, music. So my art does depict that. And I also feel that it's important that if I'm able to create art that can tell a story and bridge our African Americans, Afro Latinos, all in the diaspora back to the homeland through our art and story, then I have that duty to use that skill and idea to do so. So most of my art you'll see I have created trying to tell some history about mythology or the gods or goddesses or kings and queens of Africa. So I've had a piece which starts with the Ashanti king on the king side, and then a piece that's Kenyan queen from the queen side. And the idea is I can continue making a series of these African king and queen images that tell these stories. And interestingly, even one of the Kenyan queen images that I made, there was a gentleman who was born, raised in Kenya, who said he had never heard of this queen, but when he looked into it, he saw all of it was valid. So a lot of my art, I feel like I have the ability to tell this story and I don't want to say educate, more so remind our people of where we came from, who we are, and what we are composed of. Imagine we know a lot about Greek mythology, the Nordic culture, and all of this, but the typical melanated person does not even know about their own mythology. And you will find the more you dig into the mythology, all the other mythologies are actually copies of these, because you have to understand Africa was incredibly rich with stories and whatnot. It's just we were a culture that was robbed with all of our stories, and we did not have the means as many of the other outside cultures did to project that on TV. So it's our right to come and own our stories and bring that to life and make people question who these characters are. So my NFT work, I'm starting a major series called Mawu, goddess of creation. In West African culture, Mawu can be known as different names, but Mawu is known as the mother of creation. In African culture, the creator is woman per se, because think about it, female is the only creature in this whole world, even in nature, that can spawn offspring. So, and there's a delicate, and they're nurture and nature. So in many African cultures, everything with the mother is very maternal, and there's a big, deep meaning to it. So I wanted to start with Mawu because Mawu has a very deep, rich story of a African mythological goddess who can create life. And so along with that, she also has a husband called Lisa who rules the sun. She rules the moon, he rules the sun. So these are stories, interesting stories that even I learned from my grandfather and father and whatnot. And I want to bring that story to life. And so these NFTs are bringing in a series, but I do have a goal with my skills to bring it to cinema, to bring it to life. So I'm also working on cinematic trailers for it, and maybe hopefully at some day if there's a pretty good backing on what this story could do and impact, we can fund it and get it going. Black Panther is such a good Black Panther is such a good example of Afrofuturism and the story of the future and connections of African tale, but it's not by us. We need an opportunity to do something by us. So by doing some of these NFTs and connecting with other artists that do story type of NFTs from mainland countries, we can build that. And so my NFTs are not just to be art and just oh, he made a piece and I can put it on my wall. It's meant to educate, invoke questions, and also be a display of culture and history, all in the same place. So I don't want to just be an NFT artist or an artist of this time. My main goal is to be a legacy, artist that ends up in textbook, or artist that has been known to tell a story and bring the story back to the people. Clubhouse has helped me grow and build community in ways I just would not have with other platforms, because Clubhouse is, as it insinuates, a clubhouse of people that you end up finding that are like-minded or have your interest, versus online when you have these particular interest type social medias. It's just a quick look, like, and go. This one, you're actually having conversations with people that are within your realm. You're having discussions and you're finding people that are like you, or think like you, or see the world or feel like you, which is very hard to find, So in terms of how Clubhouse helped, is it's helped in the sense getting a name out there. When you're an artist, granted that I have names in the films, Marvel and whatnot, that's just a little name in the credits, and no one really sees that, amongst the thousands of names there. But when you're in Clubhouse and you're talking to the community and then you're showcasing your art, you're gathering a new audience of people where never before, or yes, before, at this moment, you're able to get 5 to several hundred people just getting your attention, and you're not even a big superstar on a stage. You're in a room with all these people that really respect you, maybe, and like your art, and you're getting to know them, they're getting to know you. And so, as far as building the community, that's been a very important thing, because with the community, you don't want to just see yourself grow and leave all of them behind. I found it very important to build and grow this community. Sorry, I found it very important to build the community alongside with me, the African NFT community, Black NFT, because this community is a community that does usually have it harder and rougher and has hurdles. So when I got into it, I knew the capabilities of what I had, and I knew where I was going, and I wanted to make sure I could help the way I could. So as I got deeper into the NFT community, helping, teaching people how I went through minting, getting my work on the platform, I took the time to meet with other NFT leaders in the space, as well as others that wanted to do like me and build that. So when I jumped into African NFT, there were only about 5 members. The co-founder, Liam Hodges, also known as Vintage Mozart, reached out to me and said, "Hey, I see what you're doing, and this is what I'm trying to do. Would you like to join, and maybe you can help us grow?" And I was immediately for it. I knew exactly what to do. I knew how to help the community grow. So I got right in, and within a few weeks, we grew to several hundred, and we're still growing. And the idea behind it is to just ensure that we can get African artists, artists of the diaspora, artists that just seem to not have a voice or overlooked. The idea is to get their work seen, because a lot of Afro artists have incredible stories to tell because of what they go through, and it's not all negative. A lot of it is positive, because the melanated community, is what we're striving for. We want freedom, we want happiness, and we're just tired of everything that's happened, and the art is a great escape. And when you can make this art and people can appreciate your art, it's just a wonderful feeling. So it's helped a lot with the community growth and bringing people together. I'm seeing people of different countries collaborating, and people are getting to learn about each other. So that's very important. The success of getting sales definitely has to do with community too. It's because you have to get into the community. In order for you to be known, you have to get yourself out there. So there's a lot of marketing you do for yourself. Now, if you get with a good community, they help push your art as well too, and circulate it into the masses. So that's a very important thing with the community. And there's people that we spoke with that weren't getting art sales, and we just brought them in, and they got a chance to know the community, would start sharing and showing their work, and now they're getting sales and bids. So that's really what it's about: finding your niche, finding your tribe. Now it's not 100% that everybody is being successful in this. There are people that come in and they almost give up right away or they don't sell, but it takes time. I consider myself a pretty good artist, but the first time I got into the game, it took 2 months to sell my first piece, and then after that piece, it took about 3 months to sell the next. A lot of it had to do with being involved with the community and not getting time to do art, but also a lot of it had to do with how I would market myself. So I had to go back and find different techniques to market myself. Even though I'm considered a community leader and having access to people, there's a different sense of showing off your work or trying to get people to buy because you don't want to come off as somebody that's using this big community to make sales. So what I end up doing is when I am ready to share my work, I make another group under just my name, and I'll just say, hey, I'm setting up new work. So it's a little bit tough. You want to also continue helping and sharing people's work, but you often can get drowned out of your own work because there's a whole community of people that are saying, hey, well, you're a community leader, so share my work. And but your work can get drowned in there, so it's a tough balance. But more importantly, getting time to focus on yourself and your art, and then the community is a good step to go through. What's next for DarkMythst and African NFT? Well, for me, I am planning to continue building more series of NFTs, branching out into different storylines. I already have several. I have one that started with the ugly duckling back in April. Did well, and I failed to keep that story going, but I've learned a lot from my mistakes since, so I plan to revitalize that ugly duckling NFT story's tale. I'm also working with a few other Ghanaian artists to create some NFT storylines. And actually, the end goal is to have a mild production of one of these storylines, whether it be an animation, cartoon, or visual effects live action. So that's what I'd love to see happen with these NFTs, as well as get some work in some galleries. I also do physical sculpting. So I'd really like to try and get my work in more of the galleries, whether it's physical, virtual, and as well doing cinematics for these NFTs. For the African NFT community, I feel that it's going very well and it's growing in a substantial rate. I can imagine the African NFT community being a brand itself, reaching out and helping many artists globally, also working with different organizations to promote fundraisers and whatnot. I think the African NFT community has a lot to offer. There's so much art that comes from the culture, but there's also many artists that are involved with things going on back home in the African continent. So it's nice to see when artists make sales, they make donations to some of their local activities. So African NFT community, I feel, is here to stay, and it's going to go a long way. We just have to continue with the growing pains of an organization that grows big and fairly fast. So hopefully we can keep up with that as it grows. But we'd like to also see many of the members getting far more exposure, getting their works in other galleries, TV shows, anything that the artist that is involved with the community can do. We also plan to extend ourselves out to more of the diverse communities, cross-pollinating, because I also feel that it's important to share and be involved with different cultural communities. As the world is one, we should be in that way, and there's so much to offer, and there's so much that we do find in similarities between our cultures. So that's my outlook for the very few future. Sorry. So that's my outlook for the very near future of DarkMythst and African NFT community. Thank you so much for having me on this show, and I thank you for everything you're doing, and looking forward to having a chat with you anytime again in the future.
So for our final piece, so that this is just chop it up. This is me chopping it up. This is like me feeling the vibes of like what it's like when it's just me giving it to y'all raw, pause, pause, kale salad. I'm just giving, we're Tassilis out here. Shout out to Tassilis. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Raw vegans, like that. I'm giving it to you, natural. You know what I'm saying? You gotta sexualize it. Y'all is trying to sexualize. Well, yeah, we don't do that. What am I saying? I'm just saying random jibba jabba. Well, I want to now get to our segment. So you all have just heard that wonderful excerpt from the good brother Kwame talking about some of the work that he's done and what it means to be innovating in the African NFT space and just in the NFT space in general as an artist and as a VFX long-time career runner, or as his main career. We're gonna get into the plugs and picks. This is I gotta have some music for it, so I don't know. We'll do this. Plugs and picks. This is the part about the plugs and picks. So that's my song. I just made it up. This is the plugs and picks portion where we're gonna be plugging people who are giving it up and showing love to the Digi tribe and Digi community, as well as things y'all should be checking out and things you should be looking out for. So without further ado, this is the first time I'm going to be doing this. And if y'all like this, let me know. I'm going to shout out the top 10 people in the Facebook tribe, which again, we over 15, almost 1,500 strong. That's active. I'm not just talking like, oh, you got 1,500 people that are in your, that's active. People looking at content, of consuming, and also engaging every day. So we getting it up. We're moving, we're growing. We're trying to get to 2K. I want to get to 2K by my birthday. If that we can make that happen, y'all. I'm September Virgo. You already know what it is. September baby, 9/11. You know what I mean? 9/11 baby. Let's make that happen. 2K. I think we can. All you have to do is invite 10 or 15 of your friends on Facebook. People tell me on some real shit, like, because this is the plug time, whatever. You know what I'm saying? People have told me, and this is no cap, no kizzy. If you didn't know that, no kizzy, no cap means no cap. That they only go on Facebook to come check out the group. You know what I mean? So that's how we're giving it up. People say they only go on there to check out the group. And it provides value and it gives them a lot throughout their day. So shout out to the people who have going fucking ham and giving it up and showing us love on the DigiTribe Facebook group. Shout out to the good brother Green. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do claps for all of these, in between these. Shout out to the good brother Green, man. Green is like obviously like our number one commenter. He's, I believe, I never met him before, and doesn't have a picture. So yeah, this is how Facebook goes down. But I believe he is a commenter on all the posts, a lot of progressive content, a lot of incredible music and ideas. And so I just really appreciate you, brother, for being a contributor and holding us down. Shout out to Mike, shout out to Tracy, shout out to Aaron, shout out to Shannon, shout out to Donald, shout out to Tom, shout out to my brother Awful Truth, shout out to E-Man Jones, shout out to Ricardo, and shout out to Kelly. Those are like the top ones. Like, salute, like all the way, all love to y'all for holding it down and being a part of this community and sharing and giving your energy and insight. We're going to keep growing, man. So maybe there'll be a time where I won't be able to announce these people. But until then, we're going to show love and share love to all the people supporting us and continuing to grow with us. And now I have an honorable mention too. So it ain't going to be an honorable mention going forward. So y'all going to have to really work to get into this top 10 people who are the most engaged, the most comments, and who are actually providing content. That means you put up posts that aren't your own self-promotion. And if they are, they're relevant. Those are the people that I just listed that are in that top 10. And then these are honorable mentions. These are people giving it up too. You know what I mean? But they, like I said, those people in the top 10, they give it up. They're giving it up. They're commenting on almost everything. They're posting, they're engaging, they're having engaging conversations and all kinds of stuff. These people are doing the same, you know what I'm saying? So there's just honorable mention. But this will be the last time we do it. Shout out to the brother Richard, the good brother Howard, Dickie, Colin, Luke, Eric, and Ngozi. I hope I'm saying that right. So all love, man. We growing. The tribe is out here. You already know what it is. Again, a reminder that we are going to be moving to subs by the fall. Again, I want to time it all around, the B-Day. I'm all about that. I'm not saying I'm superstitious, but I like to move things in accordance with the universe and stuff like that. So I got time, but also I think you already know that's the logical progression and it makes sense. We're giving y'all a lot of content and we're hoping that it's progressing and helping you throughout your day and your day to day. So we got to grow. The subs are a way that we do that. We do it organically. And so ads are going to be inserted very soon. I'm just trying to make sure that they write for us because it's not even about the money. It's just making sure it makes sense and making sure I can experiment and it feels right. So those will be added in and those will always be there when we get the sub. So if you want ads to go away, all you have to do is sub, which will be a $2.99 joint for Apple and or Patreon. So we're going to do it for Apple and Patreon too. So the Patreon is still going to go up. We're going to use the Patreon more as our learning engagement space that people want to come. A lot of people hit me up about consultations. I am doing a lot of consultation work, contractor work, etc. I'm going to try to open that up to the community too. And so the Patreon is going to be where if you subscribe monthly, you can sit in on some of these info sessions where I'm giving game about whatever you want, podcast production, instructional design. I mean, I can go over the gamut, but more to come on that. And then we also got mods. The people I just listed are probably going to be mods that I just listed in the Facebook group. But if you're interested, man, just kind of start thinking about, how you feel like you can contribute. We want people that can help grow the community and who also can be good moderators. Because we don't play in the Digitribe, man. We don't let BS, bullshit, people who are of any kind of thing that isn't inclusive, that shit does not fly. Trust me. So that you can come be in a safe space and that's progressive, that allows for commentary and allows for a lot of diverse conversations. People don't agree at all the time on a lot of our posts, like keeping it real. That's what I love because it means like it's real. It's not like we a cult of personality. Everybody like thinks like Small Eyes does or thinks like so-and-so Jack does, et cetera, et cetera. Like, nah. We are actually a community that is engaging, holding people accountable, and just having some real ass fucking conversations and fun shit. We have a lot of fun. Yeah, we have a lot of motherfucking fun. So that is going to be the conclusion. I want to end with the final plug that I'm back up and running in the game. Shout out to, and guess what? I said how this all is connected. Shout out to my good people's Brandon over at Speakeasy. Shout out to Colin as well. Our people's in our community that's tribe. They tribe for real, supporting us and rocking with us. And shout out to Volta as well. Good people putting out good content and doing a lot of wonderful fundraising, which is also Colin and his crew. I am opening for and doing some musics. I'm doing the musics for this Sky Zoo show, which is my first show of 2020. So I just got it, for myself. It's been a long journey, man. No shows in 2020 at all. Actually, I did one show, which was the Controllerage. Shout out to, again, Controllerage, the mob. You know what I'm saying? And another clap for them coming back. You know what I'm saying? And then, one more.
He's heating up.
I'm getting back to it. But yeah, I only did one show, and that was actually a Controllerage show last year. If you don't count some of the live events I did with Volta and some other people, live streaming stuff live through Twitch and stuff like that. So this is my first show in 2021. I'm excited. It's going to be at 529. Shout out to A-Town. I know that our podcast is a primarily Atlanta podcast, but we got people all over the world. We got people in Jamaica. We got people in Germany. We got people, shout out to DYT Squad, who are also heavy, LA Squad, NY Squad. We got them all over the map. But, if you're going to be in Atlanta, end of the month, July 30th, it's going down. Me, Sky Zoo, the homie Illustrate, believe, Chaos, Senior Chaos, the homie Senior Chaos, man. We go back. And some other people I'm not really familiar with, but I'm sure they're going to be dope. And of course, Sky Zoo, that's the brethren, man. You know what I mean? Damn, Sky Zoo, one more plug, has a wonderful song with my brethren, my actual brother, who I love, Awful Truth, Dakona, and E-Man Jones, also my brother, who's got a wonderful single by Mike Jones. Check that shit out. They have a record with Sky Zoo. That's incredible. And, hopefully I'll be able to collab with the good brother, man. We've been talking over the years. Stolen Drums, shout out to the General. Shout out to, hope you get better, man. I know he got a COVID scare. Y'all got to be safe out here. I'm going to say that. We're going to end that with this PSA. Let me say, where is it?
And I think that says it all right.
That we got to be safe out here. We got to be really, really safe. Gotta play that music. I'm just playing random stuff. We gotta be safe out here because even though everything's all the way open up, it ain't open, if that makes sense. So mask up, you know, if you don't want to get the shot, whatever, mask up, be safe and be kind to one another. That's actually a really similar to some cool shit that Stolen says. But take care of one another, man. That's how we getting through this. We're almost on the other side of it. Did you good, tribe? Did you good times, man? This is another one in the books. Appreciate to our guests and future guests. If you are like, man, I got somebody incredible that's a game changer. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for game changers, beasts. So you got to be a beast to come on the show. And if you know somebody like that, feel free to hit us up. You can hit us up at digigoodtimes@gmail.com. And then also, if you got some things you want to talk to us about, you want to collab, etc., we open, man. We're open. We're growing. We're building, and there's so much more to come. And on that note, you know.
And I think that says it all right.
Yeah, I think that does. And you know what it is. Thank y'all for joining us. I go by the name of Small Eyes, and we out here. Be easy.